Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today we're driving the 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport 4x4 double cab. You have to specify 4x4 because, believe it or not, you can still get Toyota Tacomas in rear-wheel drive. And although this truck hasn't changed that much over the years, it's still the same 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, and yes, still the same 6-speed transmission. It's reliable. It's dead reliable, and they hold value really well. In fact, you know I'm always a proponent of buying used, so you let other people depreciate vehicles for you. But if you're looking at these trucks, unless you're looking at them with like 80 to 100,000 miles, you might as well just buy it new and enjoy it yourself because they don't lose that much value. But let's start it up and take a look inside. Actually, first, look at this. I think that's to prevent wind buffeting. Funny that they do it on the Tacoma, not on the Supra. Even this key is pretty old looking. Look at this. Look at this. This looks like it came off of my sister's 1995 Toyota Camry. Unbelievable. But they do last forever. So we have a push button start. Analog gauges, beeps for days. Nothing beeps like this Tacoma. Let's take a look under this hood. And by the way, this is like the heaviest hood I have felt in years. I am shocked. Absolutely no weight savings involved in that design. But yeah, you know, there you go. There it is. That'll take you 400, 500,000 miles without much trouble. So it's simple. It's easy to access stuff. I think if you're a DIYer, this is a great platform for you. I don't know too many people who are afraid of these, but let's close this up. Yes. You can't deny the practicality of these things because you've got rear doors. We're not in a luxury vehicle, but it gets the job done. I wouldn't mind sitting back here for a while. And it's certainly going to be easier for your passengers if you do carry passengers and stuff all the time that you want to keep inside to have these 4 doors rather than the 2 doors. Around back, we've got the 5-foot bed. You can get a 6-foot bed, but wait, you got to hear this click. This is actually very satisfying. Ready? Listen to this close. That's a nice click. That's that Toyota quality. All right, but under here, we've got this nice tonneau cover. Another one down here. Ugh. There we go. And then you can clip this in like so. There you go. Now, you know, you're set. This isn't going anywhere, and you've got access to your bed. You've got another clip on that side, by the way. We're going to close it for the drive. But that also means that because you've got this cover, you can go through those self-car washes because a lot of car washes won't allow an open bed pickup truck to go through. In here, we've got all of our outlets. I mean, seriously, how great is that? You've got a legitimate outlet that you can plug stuff into. So you're ready to go off-road. You're ready to tow things. And down here, we've got our tow package. We're ready to go here and here. I'm not a towing guy, but it'll tow 6,400 pounds. So if I were to tow my race car, which I don't own, I'm just dreaming, guys, I could do it with this because hopefully my race car setup doesn't weigh more than that, right? I'm not towing a Bentley Continental GT3. Okay, cool. We're closed up. Let's go for a ride. Fast? No. Quick enough? Yes. And at the end of the day, this 278 horsepower V6 is going to do the job just fine. I'd be curious how it holds up when it's towing. Let's pitch it into a corner. It's already like more confidence inspiring than I thought it was going to be. Let's see. That's not bad. The steering is so light. There's not a whole lot of feedback coming through it, which, you know, that's typical of a body-on-frame proper truck. I don't expect it to be giving me any more than that. This transmission is where the truck starts to feel mostly dated. The engine doesn't bother me so much because I like this engine, but it's that we're in this 6-speed, and because, look, it kind of gear hunts a little bit. And when it does a downshift, because the ratios aren't that close together, like say Ford's new 10-speed, you are going to be in a position where it's going to be giving you like, you know, big leaps in those revs. But as far as road manners are concerned, first of all, nice to have a nice brand new truck, perfect alignment, everything's set. It's really happy on the highway. I've got the truck feel. I'm nice and high up off the ground, but my seating position is also really good because I'm not high up in the vehicle. So although I'm certainly not on the floor, I don't feel like I'm sitting on the roof. Nice progressive brakes. It's funny, I heard Jacob and Yuri say that they were like binary and that they were very on-off. Maybe the truck they had, or maybe I don't know, maybe they had different brake pads on it, but I think you've got to monitor the understeer just because this steering is very light. So you have to, you know, use your brain. You may not feel it come through the wheel. You may just need to interpret the fact that you're not turning as aggressively as you want it to be. Turning radius. Oh, yes. This is great. I'm into that. Off we go. Such a progressive linear power band. You really feel it pick up over like 4,500 RPM and everything kind of comes together. It's actually very satisfying. I really should have secured that camera bag. I wasn't expecting to have this much fun in the truck. You know what's wild too is you can still get this in a manual transmission. Oh yeah, that's how I'd have it. I don't know why you'd get a two-wheel drive version of this. But I guess people do. We've still got the old-fashioned Toyota cruise control stock down here on the wheel, which I love. I love having that stock down here. My BMW has a little stock too, and I think this is the ticket for a good cruise control setup. It's so natural, it's so easy. Having all these buttons on the wheel just gets a little clunky and awkward. So for me, stock all the way. The road noise is really not intrusive in this. Like, I think this is a great place to be. I could do a long road trip in this without thinking. These seats are super comfy, nice and soft. Obviously not like wildly supportive on the side to side, but I mean, look, you're probably not chucking it into corners the way I am doing right now. Even if I owned this truck, I probably wouldn't do that often. Ooh, I forgot to open the moonroof. Moonroof opened. And up here, I kind of dig the SOS button cover. It's like a little fighter switch, like, ooh, fire the missiles. Always fun to get a nice line in a pickup truck through a corner. This suspension, it's a body-on-frame pickup truck. You're gonna feel pretty much everything translate through this vehicle in your butt, but you're not gonna feel it through the steering. So the steering, you're always gonna be pretty isolated from the front end, but every crack in the road, everything you hit, every little bump is gonna come through the cabin. Trucks are getting so luxurious today. Like, you get in a Ford F350 Super Duty. Now, I also understand I'm talking about an $80,000, $90,000 truck at that point, but you can deck that out with luxurious leather, with an incredible interior, and I mean, you're basically driving like a Bentley with a monster diesel engine that's going to tow like, you know, over 10,000 pounds. It's crazy. The Toyota is not that, and this Tacoma seeks to be the rugged everyman's truck that, while up front, yes, this is a $45,000 truck with these options. You can get them cheaper in the 30s, but that's a hefty price tag for what seems to be a pretty dated vehicle. But you also have to remember, you may never have to buy another one. I mean, you're going to keep this for 25 years. Your kids are going to drive this car. And behind me is a beautiful 4Runner, basically same situation, and it's a great color. That blue color, super cool. You can get these in cool colors now. If I were to buy this truck and, you know, it wasn't dependent on a deal because this one was on the lot, I'd order mine with that green color because I think that is really hot. But what about the competition? I mean, look, if you're a Ford or a Chevy guy, like, this is probably already off the table for you. But if you're a Toyota loyalist, like, you probably like the fact that it still has this 6-speed transmission and the same old engine because you've got spare parts lying around. You know how to work on it. It's familiar to you, and you're just happy to get a new one with warranty and know that you can travel another like 500,000 miles in it. But if you're like me, I've always had sports cars, but to be honest with you, it would be nice to have a pickup truck. Honestly would probably go for the 4Runner that's behind me. I hope you can see it in the mirror right now, just because it would be easier to film out of. I could get in the back seat, roll down that rear window, and boom, now I've got a cool car-to-car filming experience. And you know, the value proposition is identical. I don't necessarily need the bed, but if you do need the bed, I mean, what are you gonna do? This is also super capable off-road. I mean, people do wild stuff in these, and it's really fun to watch these on trails, especially up against like their Jeep counterparts. One simple but very neat feature is that rear glass moves side to side. It's a pickup truck, but it's electric. So you can open that up right from here. I don't have to get back there to do it. Here's one thing that bothers me, and this isn't just about this truck, but I think a lot of companies do this. The DRLs, when the DRLs are on, it turns on those front lights, not the rears, and they're pretty bright. So this brings up the issue where folks will go out driving thinking their headlights are on, thinking that they're visible because they can see, the road is slightly illuminated. The rears are not on at all. I think all DRLs at all times should have front and rear on at the same time. I think that would save a lot of hassle, because then you're not like approaching people on the highway with their lights not on when they think their headlights are on. That really bothers me. That's neither here nor there though, because it's not like a this vehicle problem. I think that's people just not noticing stuff. That really drives me nuts. So my final thoughts about this Toyota Tacoma: it's old, man, but it's all the things you liked about the past. I've got analog gauges. I don't have too much technology. I have an engine that I know can be worked on for eternity by basically anyone, anywhere in the world. I don't need any specialty shops. And this transmission could probably be found in a junkyard anywhere if something were to go wrong and you were strapped for cash. So if you're a DIY guy and you just want to have a vehicle that lasts you for the rest of your life, or for like a generation or two, like, this is the way to go. The things that had gone wrong on these vehicles in the past weren't even mechanical. It was the recall for the corrosion on the frames that ended up kind of being a weak point of these vehicles. But I doubt that's still a problem. And if it is, you go do an undercoating on it when you get it. I know you never get the undercoating. You might want to. Frankly, I think it looks fantastic. I love the appearance of these Tacomas and the current 4Runner. And there's still cachet with this Toyota name. I think it looks a little cooler to be in Team Toyota Tacoma versus like Ranger Lariat, which, you know, not a slight against Ford, but in this segment, this one has my heart. It's gonna hold value, it's gonna be reliable, and if you wanted to sell this, it would go in a heartbeat. So that's all I have to say. I think this Tacoma is fantastic. I think it's nice when you have vehicles that resemble the past. And as much as you might complain that, oh, I wish the camera was better or this and that, like, yeah, those are valid concerns. And I think it's kind of silly that Toyota hasn't upped their game on some really simple items that could really impact their sales. But, you know, it's their choice and they believe that's the way to go, or it's just working for them. Who am I to say? I don't know. But thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Oh my goodness. Oh, is that a handbrake? I love a good handbrake. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Where's this button? There we go. All right, I'm not trying to blow up this dude's spot, but like, that is a dope 996.